Greetings, the internet. Welcome to Talking Headstone, my podcast where I talk about Gothic art. The topic for this episode is Mother, the seventh studio album by American alternative metal band In This Moment. In This Moment was founded in Los Angeles in 2005 by singer Maria Brink and guitarist Chris Howarth. In This Moment has a very distinctive aesthetic. It's very edgy, very dark, very gothic, and lately has incorporated a lot of pagan and Wiccan elements because singer Maria Brink is a practicing witch. The band is staunchly feminist, and their sound includes a lot of lyrics about magic and mysticism and defiant feminist anthems. Their sound is dark and edgy and oppressive, with lots of chugging guitars and very pronounced drums, and Maria's distinctive smoky voice. It's very interesting, very layered. Their live show is amazing. It's this huge, dramatic affair with tons of costume changes and props. Maria's voice is powerful and smoky and just full of emotion. This particular album, Mother, birthed three singles, the first being The In Between, which is accompanied by a gorgeous music video, which is surreal and mythical and interesting, and it's full of images of fire and heaven and hell, and this recurring shot of Maria with crimson hands reaching out from the darkness, grasping at her face. I'll talk more about the individual songs later. The second single is The Hunting Ground. This one I was a little less impressed by. I really liked The In-Between when it came out, but The Hunting Ground, it's a very good song. I like The Hunting Ground a lot, don't get me wrong, it's a good song, but it struck me, and this is the biggest problem I have with the album on the whole, that the vocals on the whole feel a little restrained. Marie doesn't do a lot of screaming on that song. It's all very sinister, very melodic singing. Couple decent screams, but nothing on the level that she's usually just hollering at. And the final single was the very creepy, very very haunting, glitchy "As Above, So Below." That was a great closing single to the album and one of my favorite tracks on the album. All three of these are among my favorite tracks on the album. So now, as in the previous episode, I'm going to go track by track, giving my thoughts on each song. Then I'll sum things up and answer the question, do I recommend this album? So the first track is The Beginning. This is an ominous interlude with lots of low organ work, and it's very creepy and very atmospheric, as Maria intones in a low, echoing whisper, "I am the god and the devil around you. I am the hell and the heaven you crave. I am the moon and the sun that you bask in. I am the name written on your grave," to a mournful horn. It transitions very smoothly into the next song, which is Fly Like an Eagle. Fly Like an Eagle has a very epic sounding chorus. There's a chugging guitar riff with a skittering electronic drum beat that leads into more organic drums. The lyrics are full of allusions to revolution and social injustice. There's only one verse to this song. It's solid. Again, it has those themes of revolution and social injustice, and it does a decent job with them. But I feel like there could be a little more lyrical meat on these bones. The song feels a tad anemic. Still solid, but it feels like it could have used a little bit more work to it, if I'm being completely honest. But still a good song. Very solid opener. It has a lot of energy to it. The Red Crusade is another haunting interlude that leads right into the first single, The In-Between. This is a crashing, surrealist soundscape with great loud, soft dynamics. The guitars are heavy, especially on the chorus, and Maria has some great screams on this song, and there are some really cool vocal effects on her songs on the bridges as well. The song is themes of being trapped between heaven and hell, of judgment and misconception. That it weaves into the narrative very, very well. This is a huge, especially with the music video, this is a huge performance piece and very much the centerpiece of the album, and it is excellent. Lyrics are also full of callbacks to previous In This Moment songs. You just keep wanting more with your blood and your horror, and it's a beautiful tragedy. You want to be sick like me. So those are nice little nods for the fans that I appreciate very much. The next song is Legacy. This is a song about Maria's grandfather who served in the United States Armed Forces. This song is haunting. Maria's voice sounds like it's breaking. Her voice is so smoky, and there's so much ocean to it. It all feels very intentional, and there's just so much emotion in this song. It's one of the most haunting songs on the album, and one of my favorites. My favorite couplet in this song is I will dance with you till the shadows slip away. I will lay my hands on you to ease your pain. It's such a heartfelt image, wishing solace and healing magic, and it's just such a powerful image, and I love that so much. I love those little moments in music, those striking images. I always get a picture in my head when I listen to a song. It feels like it's a painting with music. Up next, we have a cover of We Will Rock You by Queen, featuring Taylor Momsen of The Pretty Reckless and Lizzie Hale of Hailstorm. In this moment, puts a twist on a classic Queen song while retaining the iconic aspects. It does feel a little incongruous with the rest of the album, but it's a great cover, so that's a small complaint. I really like how they amped it up a bit and made the main riff a bit meatier. And then we go into the title track, Mother, which comes in with a mournful piano line and lots of bombast and drama in the vocals. The song has themes of dedication and death, and a promise that transcends death. The instrumentation drops out to just the sparse piano for the first half of the last chorus. Then the rest of the instruments come back in for one last crescendo and end on the last few mournful piano notes. My favorite lyrics in this song are Down the river we flow, surrounded by our halo. I'll give you my everything, I'll never let you fall. Really hits on those central themes of a promise made, and I just really like that image of being swept away, surrounded by a halo. Next, we get to the single As Above, So Below. This is a very mystical sounding song. There are some great visceral screams on the bridge. It's very cool and distorted. There's some great vocal effects. I get strong impressions from this song of dark deals made in the dead of night for terrible power. I get definite vibes similar to the song Afflicted by One-Eyed Doll, which is one of my favorite One-Eyed Doll tracks. So that's a very, very good thing. I love songs about witches. There are lots of good lyrics in this song. The ones that stand out to me are As above, so below. What you reap is what you sow. What you give comes back threefold. As above, so below. I think the number 3 is very significant in this song because of the triple goddess in Wiccan spirituality. The Mother, Maiden, and Crone is a central figure of the Divine Feminine. I also like I Won't Lie, it's quite tempting, your handouts and your bones. I won't lie, they're quite empty, your promises and your stones. Those images of osteomancy and soothsaying via magic stones. And again, tying back to that promise of dread power. It's very good. Up next, we have the song Born in Flames. This is a very soft song. It's quite poetic, but I think it might be the weakest song on the album. It lacks a bit of punch. Still solid, but not my favorite. I don't have a ton to say on Born in Flames. Up next, we do have one of my favorite tracks, though, God is She. The structure of the beginning is repeated with the lines, I am the god and the devil around you. I am the hell and the heaven you crave. I am the queens and the kings that you bow to. I am the name written on your grave. The song has a rad opening riff and a really cool vocal melody. It's very up and down, very vibrato-y. The chorus is very anthemic. It feels like a spiritual experience. Maria's pouring a lot of her experience and a lot of her feelings into this chorus. Maria also flexes the higher end of her register a lot in this song. It's very pretty. She almost touches on some falsetto singing. And there's a breakdown at the end, which is absolutely infectious. It's absolutely headbanging. Makes me want to move. And I don't really dance, but I kind of want to dance to this song. I don't have a ton to say about the lyrics here. They're quite simple and about letting the divine feminine into oneself. The appeal is really in the sound and Maria's delivery, which gives it a very mantra-like feel. This is a very magical sounding song. Up next is Holy Man, which has a very bouncy rhythm. The beginning is almost classic rock. It has that kind of swagger to it. The organ on the outro is a very nice touch. Always love a bit of organ. I love songs with pipe organ. It sounds so dark and sinister, yet beautiful at the same time. A lot of my favorite songs feature organ on them in some capacity, and this is no exception. There's also some acoustics that come in near the end, which are quite pleasant, very pretty. They almost sound a little Fleetwood Mac-y, almost. Kind of gets back a little bit back to that classic rock sound. This really sounds like a really solid rock track. I'm kind of surprised this wasn't a single, actually. Up next, we have Hunting Grounds, the last single, which features Joe Cotella of Dead, the metal band Dead. This song has great use of loud, soft dynamics. There's a low, sinister whispers laced throughout, often right before the screaming. It's great contrast. The song is primal and vivacious. It gives me images of the wild hunt from Germanic folklore. My favorite line is the opening line. I have been sleeping for 7 moons and now I'm awake. Gives those images of a long, mystical sleep and definite werewolf vibes. And I love my songs about werewolves. This isn't quite a Lupin Tooth or She-Wolf, though, but it's close. It's very, very close. The next song is Lay Me Down. The song is defiant, with a slow build culminating in a brilliant scream from Maria. This is one of the best screams on the album. It has great rhythm. The drums are very bouncy. The euphonymous laying down refers to being laid down in a grave, epitomized by the lines, "You can't kill me, I'm already dead, and I grow stronger with your gun to my head. See, I've lived and died 1,000 times, I'll climb out again, lay me down." That's a powerful image of the narrator crawling out of her grave. Next, we have the song Into Dust, which is a cover. This song has a very pretty, eerie piano melody. Maria's voice is so soulful. The song is very sad, but it's also so pretty. Near the end, we get a violin coming in, which is a lovely touch. Love a bit of strings, love a bit of violin. There's some great varied instrumentation on this album. It's not just meat and potatoes guitars. There are some really nice touches here and there. Into Dust is a very refreshing change of pace. It's a gorgeous ballad to close out the album and bring the energy down. So that is the full track listing. My favorite songs are Lay Me Down, God Is She, As Above, So Below, Mother, Legacy, and The In-Between. I know that's like half the track list, but it's a good album. Also, at this point, I want to mention that when I listened to this album for the first time, I listened to it with a lovely young lady. So some of these thoughts in this episode are hers. I feel like I shouldn't mention her name, but if she listens to this, she knows who she is. So thank you very much. It was lovely listening with you, and thank you for your input. So to sum up, the album is excellent, although a lot of it does feel a little restrained. I think that's deliberate, and the album comes together nicely, apart from We Will Rock You, which does feel very incongruous, right smack dab there, in the middle of this beautiful spiritual album, just this big, dumb, arena rock sing-along. It doesn't fit, but it's a good cover, and the rest of the album does feel very congruous as a whole piece. But on the whole, it's just not in this moment's most powerful record, if I'm being completely honest. The themes and mythology of the album are very interesting and complete, but I feel like the music could have come together and had a little bit more oomph to really drive it home. All in all, it's still an excellent record, although if I were to rank In This Moment's albums, it would fall quite low, but that's just because In This Moment have never made a bad album, so even being the worst of an amazing discography, it's still very, very good. And now to answer the question, would I recommend this album? Yes, absolutely. If you're already into metal and you're already an In This Moment fan, go for it. Just keep in mind that it's not their heaviest work. If you're into metal but not familiar with In This Moment, I might recommend starting somewhere else and saving this one. It's just not their most representative work. The rest of their discography is amazing. You can't go wrong anywhere. My favorite album, personally, is Black Widow. If you're just getting into heavier music, however, this could be a good, gentle introduction because it's not their heaviest work, and albums like Black Widow is dark and heavy. Like that album gets dark. But along those lines, I think the previous album, Ritual, would suit that purpose even better. It's again a bit softer, but has those heavier elements to it. It also has similar pagan and mystical themes. I think it comes together with the music a little bit more, but Ultimately, if you want to start with Mother, you're not going to go wrong. It's still a great album. I just might recommend starting somewhere else if you're really getting into it in this moment. But yeah, great album. Great time had listening to it. Another great eight work in this moment's discography. To close out, I would just like to thank Olivia Tate for designing my gorgeous Talking Headstone logo. You can find her work at Olivia Tate Design on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you very much for listening, and I will see you on the next episode.